My daughter's calculus teacher called me at work furious to report that my kid had scored a 98 on the hardest exam of the semester. She said the word cheating before I had even asked what was wrong. 26 years of teaching, she told me, and nobody finishes that test in 40 minutes. Nobody honest was the part she let hang in the air. My daughter Priya is 16. Since 7th grade she has run the same machine every school night. Homework at the kitchen table, then 2 hours of practice problems she assigns herself. From workbook she asks for as birthday presents, which as a parent is somewhere between admirable and concerning. Math is not a subject to her. It is a place she goes. Her grandfather was the same way, spent 40 years as a structural engineer, and the two of them used to trade puzzle problems on napkins at family dinners. So when a grown woman called me to report my child's excellence like a break-in, I took a slow breath and asked what evidence she had. The answer was a list of feelings. Priya finishes too fast. Priya does not show enough scratch work. She does steps in her head. Priya's practice quiz scores jumped this semester. And then the sentence she should have kept behind her teeth. Kids from families like ours usually plateau in her class. Families like ours. I asked her to repeat it, and gave her the longest silence of my life to do it in. And to her credit or her cowardice, she declined. I did not scream. I have learned that the scream gets filed under angry parent and thrown away. Instead I said the sentence I had been assembling while she talked. Since you believe the test conditions were compromised, I formally request a supervised retake, different questions, same difficulty, any proctor you like, and I would like the request in writing on both sides. Teachers who are fishing hate paper. She suddenly suggested we all just move on. I declined to move on. The vice principal, to his credit, approved it in one meeting. What the teacher did not know is that I asked for one more condition, that she not be the one to write the retake. The head of the math department built a fresh exam, sealed it, and proctored it herself in the library on a Thursday after school, with the calculus teacher invited to observe from the back of the room. Priya was nervous, not about the math, about the audience. On the drive over she asked me quietly what happens if I have a bad day. And that question, the fact that a 16-year-old had absorbed the idea that one bad day would convict her, is the thing I still cannot forgive. She did not have a bad day. New test, harder by design, department head's own words. 55 minutes. She scored 100, and then because she is her grandfather's granddaughter, she flagged a typo in question 11 where the exponent made the problem unsolvable as written, solved the version they meant to write, and solved the broken version too with a note explaining the difference. The room was very quiet while the department head graded it at her desk. She looked up at the calculus teacher in the back and said one sentence that I intend to have engraved somewhere eventually. The only thing the student needs from us is a harder class. Things moved fast after that. A written apology, the administrative kind where every sentence has been sanded smooth by a lawyer. Priya was moved up to the multivariable section that meets at the community college twice a week, which she describes as finally interesting. The teacher took a professional development seminar whose topic I never confirmed but can guess. I hear her scrutiny lands differently now. Paper trails have that effect. My daughter learned 3 things that semester, and only one of them was math. She learned that being visibly excellent will sometimes summon people who need it to be fake. And she learned what it looks like when an adult refuses to let that pass quietly, requests it in writing, and stands in the back of the library with arms crossed while their kid answers the question properly twice. Her grandfather heard the whole story at dinner, went away, and came back with a napkin. On it was a problem he had saved for a special occasion, one he swore took him a week in 1978. She got it in 2 days. He framed the napkin. It hangs in his hallway with a label that says, evidence.